All right, so we're going to go over question 4 here in this video. It says the graph of f of x is shown. Write the equation for each graph in vertex and standard form. So you should know what the two forms are. As a reminder, vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And then standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So with these as they're graphed, it's actually easier to find this form first, and then later on we can work it into this form here. So I will do the first one right here. What I want you to see is that this vertex right here is at, I like to write v for vertex, -4, -1. I also want you to see that it has 2 points here. I'm going to take that point right there. I'll write p and say it is at -1, +2. Once I have that information, then it's pretty simple to quickly get it into vertex form. I write y equals a times x minus, I'll leave a gap, squared, plus I'll leave another gap. What I want you to see is that the h is always this value, and the k is always this value from the vertex. That's why we call it vertex form, because the vertex jumps out quickly to us. So what we need to do is put minus a -4, and you might see what happens there, and then plus a -1. And then I just need to simplify out a little bit. That gives me y equals a times x plus 4 squared, and then -1. So from here, I've got all of the pieces of vertex form except the a value. I need to figure out this right here. Now, that's what I'm going to use this point to figure out. Because notice, it gives me an x and a y. The 2 is the y, it's going to go in right there. The -1 is the x, it's going to go in right there. And if I plug those two values in, I've got all numbers here, and I can solve for a. So what do? I get 2, because that's the y value, is equal to a times, I'm going to put in the x value of -1, plus 4, close, -1, like that. And then, squared. So that gives me 2 equals a times 3 squared minus 1. I am going to add the 1 to both sides. That gives me 3 equals a times 9 after I square that piece. And then from there, I divide by 3 on both sides, and I get a, or divide by 9 on both sides, and I get my a. I guess I'll do this in a different way. I divide by 9, and I get a is equal to 3 over 9, which gives me a equal to 1/3. So all I do is combine that line with this value, and I get y equals 1/3, open, x plus 4, close, squared, -1. And that's my vertex form, so I can write it here. X plus 4 squared -1. Now, to find the standard form, I just need to FOIL and sort of write this thing out a little bit differently. So I will change colors, and I'm going to write y equals 1/3. I get x plus 4 times x plus 4, because that's what x plus 4 squared is, and then -1, which gives me 1/3. All right, x plus 4 times, this squared out gives me x squared, if I FOIL it, plus 8x plus 16. And then minus my 1. And now I need to multiply my 1/3 into all pieces. We're using the distributive property. That gives me 1/3 x squared gives me 1/3 x squared plus 8 over 3x plus 16 over 3. And then I have my -1. So the last thing I need to do is sort of find a common denominator with, I can see that's my a value, that's my b value. I just need to combine these two pieces right here. So 16 over 3 minus 1. Well, the minus 1 is 3 over 3. So that gives me 1/3 x squared plus 8/3 x plus 16 over 3 minus 3 over 3. And then that piece right there comes down to be a 13 over 3. So I can write it right here. 1/3 x squared plus 16 over 3x plus 13 over 3. Kind of squeeze it in there. Hopefully that makes some sense. And you can do the same thing for this one. I'm not going to make the video because this one is very, very similar. You use the vertex here. That gives you your h and your k value. And then you use this point right here or that point, either one. It doesn't matter to get the other one. All right, thanks. Bye. Well, I'm not going to make a video explaining this whole next one, but I will show you what the answers are so you can check your work in case you don't have access to the regular answer key. You should, for this one, get y equals 1/3 open x minus 4 close squared plus 1 for the vertex form. And then the standard form is y equals 1/3 x squared minus 8 over 3 times x plus 19 over 3. All right, thank you. And I hope you're feeling pretty comfortable with these. Thanks, bye.